One of these men is the world's greatest authority on gambling odds. What is your name, please?
My name is Ernest E. Blanche.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ernest E. Blanche.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ernest E. Blanche.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Ernest E. Blanche and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. And tonight we very warmly welcome the second of our two new sponsors, Helene Curtis, makers of mighty fine beauty products, believe me. They are creators of Suave, hairdressing and conditioner, and of course, Enden, dandruff treatment shampoo. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. Next, Mr. Don Ameche. Then Miss Kitty Carlisle. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Now, panel, will you please follow along with this first affidavit as I read it? I, Dr. Ernest E. Blanche, was formerly Chief Statistician for the United States Army. Although I now head a company in Kensington, Maryland, which does all kinds of statistical research, my hobby has long been the study of gambling and gambling odds. I have studied and lectured on every form of gambling, from horse racing and dice games to bingo and pyramid clubs. I have written 3 books, Off to the Races, The Mathematics of Gambling, and a book which points out how 50 million Americans gamble more than $60 billion each year. Its title, You Can't Win. Signed, Dr. Ernest E. Blanche. Three gentlemen first this evening, panel, and you heard them all claiming to be Dr. Ernest Blanche, gambling authority. And as soon as they are comfortably settled, let's begin our first round of questioning tonight with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, what are the odds on a roulette table?
On what number?
Well, how many chances do you have to hit a number?
We have one chance in 36.
Number two, are there any other chances to win on the roulette table?
Yes, there's the 0 and double 0.
Number three, what are the odds on number 5 on the dice table?
Number 5 on the dice table?
Yes.
Coming up?
Yes, if you wanted to take odds on, if you wanted to bet odds on place odds on your bet, take
3
the odds.
3 to 2.
3-2. Number one, in the slot machines, what are most of the slot machines set at in a regular, fairly legitimate gambling establishment?
Most of them take about 40 or 50%.
Don Ameche.
Number 2, what difference would odds make in the double O and single O system in roulette?
Offhand, I don't know.
Number 3?
What difference would they make?
Yes, in the odds.
No difference in the odds.
Do you understand my question? Some games have double O and some games have single O, and it wouldn't make any difference if there were double. Number 1?
Well, there'd be one extra number.
Number 2, what are the odds in craps in favor of the shooter?
You mean in 7 or 11?
No, just the odds in favor of the shooter. What are his odds of winning? What are his chances of winning?
About 4 to 1.
Number 3?
1 to 1.
I beg your pardon?
Even.
Number 1?
The dice thrower doesn't have any chance of winning.
Number 2, what is meant by odds on?
Kitty Carlisle.
What did you say, number 1?
Dice thrower doesn't have any
The dice thrower doesn't have any chance of winning.
Number 2, is it true that in a gambling house it is perfectly sure that if the house is honest, they don't have to cheat because they're going to make the money anyway?
That's right.
Number 3, which game would you consider has the best odds for the player of
Craps.
all the games?
Craps by
Craps.
far.
Number 1, would you say that bridge or canasta has more chances in favor of luck or skill?
I don't know.
Number 2, do you know?
Bridge.
Number 3, would you
Tom Poston.
Gosh, I seem to have gotten a lot of... Boy, the answers are not really... Let me see. Number 3.
What were you saying, Tom?
Well, they seem to be saying funny things, all 3 of them, from time to time. Number 3, please, let me get this. Maybe I can nail them. What is a green sheet, number 3?
What is a green sheet?
Yes.
It's a tip sheet.
Do you know what a green sheet is, number 2, besides a tip sheet?
Not except the tip sheet.
Number 1, in printing, book printing and publishing. So what's a green sheet? Do you know? Green sheet?
No.
Do you know, number 1, where the government farm is in Maryland?
No.
You know where the government agricultural station, the farm, is in Maryland, number 2?
Elkton.
Pardon me?
Elkton.
Number 3, do you know another location possibly for that farm?
I do not.
Do you know number 3?
Well, do you know numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the panel? That is all the time we have for questioning, and it's time to vote. So will you kindly mark your ballots without consultation? And as you do so, you will select, of course, number 1, number 2, or number 3. And the panel, of course, each time they vote incorrectly, will lose $250, which will be awarded to our challengers for every incorrect vote. Everybody mark their ballots? Some stewing over here. Everybody ready? Okay, Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 3. The odds about being even at the crap table threw me a little bit, though he did say that the best chance of winning, the more odds for the player, were at the crap table, and that is true. So I voted for him. But I don't know, it was a very difficult choice for me.
Okay, Don, your vote.
I voted for number 3, although there was I don't understand that single O and double O makes no difference in the roulette game.
Yeah.
It does, but...
Kitty, which one did you select this time?
Well, I voted for number 2. I do believe that there's more skill to bridge than canasta, although I didn't ask any of the others that question, and I didn't understand anything about crap because I don't know how to play crap.
Tom, which one do you think is the real one?
I voted for number 1, but although because the 1-to-1 odds in crap, there's no house alive that would play that kind of a game. I don't think. That's what number 3 said. And number 1 said there was a difference of 1 number in single O or double O, but I don't know what he meant by that. I guess I don't know who to vote for. Does that mean, is that a number?
The straight line is the shortest distance between our reasoning and our decision. Yeah. Well, here we are now, and we come to our own special little moment of truth on this show each time we do a round of these, and this is it, as we're about to find out which one of these gentlemen is the real gambling authority. So will the real Dr. Ernest E. Blanche please stand up? Well, thank you, sir. You fooled 3 out of the 4, but, Tom, you nosed right into a winner there. What particular hunch? Yes, Polly, you have a question?
I just wanted to know if number 1 gambles.
Occasionally.
I sort of got the impression that you didn't really gamble, that you made a study of it, but you hadn't actually played yourself. Is that...
I gamble occasionally.
Uh-huh.
Says it very tentatively.
Yes, I know that.
Well, let's find out about the others. Now, number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Dr. James J. Flynn. I am an associate professor of history and government at Fordham University.
And our privilege to have you here, sir. Number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Richard Dubois. I am a professional magician. I appeared on television for 5 years as the Magic Clown.
Well, he's trying to tell you, as being a magician, he doesn't have to gamble, you understand? The odds are all in his favor. Well, let's check up our score now and see what we have. We have 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 from Helene Curtis. Not bad, gentlemen. I'm sure you'll agree. And on your way out, there's a gift package of fine beauty products from Helene Curtis for your ladies. Thanks for being with us. Hope you had fun. Good night and good luck. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Libby Jones.
What is your name, please?
My name is Libby Jones.
What is your name, please?
My name is Libby Jones.
Panel, will you follow along with your copies of this affidavit, please? I, Libby Jones, am a college graduate. For the past 4 years, I have been an exotic dancer in burlesque. I also lecture to Lions Clubs, Rotary Clubs, and Chambers of Commerce on burlesque dance. Panel, you heard these three charming ladies all claim to be Libby Jones, dancer and census taker. Let's start this round of questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
It's me, eh? Is there a reason for coming to me first for burlesque?
No reason at all.
Number 3, tell me, in a burlesque comedy sketch, what is a rave?
A rave is a applause method.
I'm sorry, what?
An applause method.
Thank you. Number 2, who is Peanuts Bond? Do you know?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Do you know where the Burlesque Theater is in Pittsburgh?
Casino? No, I'm sorry, I don't offhand recall the street.
Do you know, number 1, where the Burlesque Theater is in St. Louis? I'm giving everything in the world away here, aren't I? Number 3.
We'll leave you to your memories, Tom. Polly Bergen, please. All right, Polly.
Downtown, please. Number 1, who really originated the striptease?
Boy, it started years and long time ago. I don't know the exact
Number
name.
2, would you know?
Perhaps Gypsy Rose Lee, I would say.
Number 3, what is the
way it
difference between a stripper and a striptease?
Well, actually, they're synonymous. Excuse me, the stripper is the noun and the striptease is the method.
Oh, I see. Number 1, do you have to belong to anything particular, or take a test of any sort, a specific test to become a census taker?
You have to take a test down at the Census Bureau.
Number 2, do you have to belong to civil service?
You are temporarily civil service employed during the time that you are census taking.
All right, Don Ameche, please.
Number 2, what did you major in school?
English literature.
Number 3, how many census takers are there?
I don't know.
Number 1?
I don't know.
Number 2?
I'm afraid I don't either.
Number 3, if you go to someone's home and they say they have children in boarding school, does that count in your report or where they take it at school?
It's taken in the report.
In your report, number 1?
No, it's taken at the school. Just who is living at April 1st in the house.
Kitty Carlisle.
I'm terribly sorry. I haven't been able to concentrate at all. I want to know whether you went to these burlesque places as a performer or a viewer.
Kitty. Tom is not a challenger. You have to question me over here.
I refuse to answer on the grounds that my...
Number 1, where is the burlesque house in Boston?
Well, it was the old Howard, now it's the Howard Casino. It's in downtown Boston.
Thank you. Number 2, there was a pre-census thing sent out to housewives and householders. Do you know what color the paper this was on?
Green.
Number 3.
Afraid that's it. Time is gone again, and time now to cast your ballots as you did before. And as you did before, will you kindly vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, everybody marked? Tom, do you mark your ballot?
Oh, my God.
Can't go till everybody has.
Does he have to make a choice? Because he'd like all 3.
I know he will. All right, Polly. Which one do you think is the real one?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know how Kitty knows where the burlesque house is in Boston.
The whole place is Boston.
Yes, I really would, and I'll speak to you about that later. I voted for number 2. I may have been fooled. I know that the number 2, the gown, is an exotic dancer's gown. That I know. Now, I voted for it because of it, assuming that it belonged to her. And it probably doesn't. You probably got it out of costuming.
Don, which one did you select?
I voted for number 1. I didn't get a chance to ask the question of number 2. I know that the children in boarding school would not be listed as living in the home. That I know. Yeah,
Kitty?
I voted for number 1 because I do believe the house in Boston is the Howard. I never played it, Polly.
I see. At least you cleared that up.
As a householder, I got one of those pre-census forms, and it was printed on beige paper. Maybe they do have green ones, but mine was beige. Oh, really?
And finally, author of a new book, The Odds in Burlesque, Tom Poston.
That's it. I did it again. I voted for number 3. And the reason, thank you for saying that, because I remembered that mine was sort of gray beige, you know, foolscap beige color. And she did confuse me, though. I thought number 2 knew a lot. And I finally realized what number 3 meant when she said rave. It's different, though. It's different. A rave. Well, I'm not going to give away any information here.
All right, now let's find out how well we did. And I hope you're checking up at home as you guess and play along with us there, as we trust you do each week. Let's see which one of these 3 charming ladies is the real dancer census taker. So will the real Libby Jones please stand up? One quick question. Does the gown belong to you?
No, it doesn't.
After all.
It is an exotic dancer's gown, isn't it?
Yes, typically, but not the type I wear.
I see.
Or don't wear.
Okay. Number 1, you tell us your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Dorothy Whitney. I sell clothes at women's haberdashers, and I graduated from Vassar.
Thank you very much. And finally, number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Jean Nirenberg, and I'm a registered nurse in New York City.
Well, we thank you all very much and hope you enjoyed your visit to us. We enjoyed having you here. And check the score. We find there were 3 incorrect votes at $750 again from Helene Curtis. And, of course, on your way out, a gift package of all of the fine beauty products from Helene Curtis. Thanks so much. Good night and good luck to you. And now, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Nicholas Monserrat.
What is your name, please?
My name is Nicholas Monserrat.
What is your name, please?
My name is Nicholas Monserrat.
A final affidavit, panel. Will you follow along, please? I, Nicholas Monserrat, am a novelist. Of my 12 published novels, the 2 most popular were written on subjects I know firsthand. My 7 years in South Africa gave me an insight into the drive for equality and independence of the African people. It resulted in my novel, The Tribe That Lost Its Head. My years in the Royal Navy on convoy escort duty in the North Atlantic during World War II provided the background for my most popular novel, which was subsequently made into a motion picture, The Cruel Sea, signed Nicholas Monserrat. You just heard 3 distinguished gentlemen, all claim to be Nicholas Monserrat, famous author, novelist, and we will start this round of questioning with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. It's a great privilege to question you gentlemen. Number 1, how far is Johannesburg from Durban?
From Durban?
Yes.
I've flown that several times. I can't remember offhand.
Number
It's
2,
about
could you tell
700 miles.
680.
Number 3, could you tell me?
400 miles.
Number 1, what is the name of the Premier of South Africa?
The present Premier of
Yes.
South Africa, fair vote.
Number 2,
Sorry, Kitty. Tom.
It is my turn. Thank you. Let me see. Number 3, did you ever have a play produced on Broadway?
No.
No. Number 2, either?
No.
Number 1, either?
No.
Okay. Then I won't ask you who the producer was, right, fellas?
Right.
Number 3, can you imitate the bosun's pipe in a Royal Navy vessel when a captain comes aboard?
Can I imitate it?
Possibly. It's a little captain he's coming up with. Number 3, I'll ask you about...
Polly
no
Bergen.
more questions.
Thank you, Bud. Pardon me. Number 1, who produced The Cruel Sea?
Who produced the movie, do you mean?
Yes.
The J. Arthur Rank Organization.
J. Arthur Rank.
Yeah.
By the way, it was a brilliant movie, whichever one of you it is. Number 2, who starred in the picture?
Who starred in the picture?
Yes.
Who starred in the picture?
Yes.
There were so many characters. Do you mean the part that was played?
The leading character.
Captain Erickson.
Yes.
The star
Yes.
in The Cruel Sea was Captain Erickson.
Don Ameche.
I pass.
Thank you, Polly.
All right.
Number 3, what is the lowest officer's rank in the British Navy?
Well, there's midshipman, then there's the sub-lieutenant.
Number 1, what's the lowest rank?
That's correct. Midshipman's the lowest and sub-lieutenant.
Number 2, what's the highest rank, officer's rank?
Admiral of the fleet.
Number 3, what are galleys?
Galleys, well, a galley is a kitchen on board ship.
Number 1?
Yeah, the kitchens.
Kitty? We started with you, didn't we?
Oh, yes, I'd like
We're
to ask
back to you already. I'm sorry.
I don't have to
No, I'm sorry. Do one more time. I'd like to ask some questions, too. We don't have time. It is time now for you to vote on the Skippy knowledge that you obtained that time, because the questioning was short due to our time running along here. So will you kindly mark your ballots? And in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everyone voted?
No, I certainly haven't. All right.
Okay. Tom, have you voted?
Oh, Bud, have I voted?
Have you voted? All right, Polly, for whom did you vote
Well,
this
I know
time?
everybody yells at me when I say this, but I really mean it. I really think it's number 2. But there was something... first of all, number 3 answered one question quite differently from the others, which I thought was awfully courageous of him. And so I voted for him.
Struck out on his own.
But when he asked about the galley, Don, they immediately assumed galley in a ship rather than the galleys of a book. And being a novelist, I was rather surprised that 1 and 3 didn't come up with that definition.
Don, your vote.
Yeah, I was too, so for that reason I voted for number 1.
Reasonable, I think, Don.
There's your parlay for you.
As anyone.
Kitty, what is your vote?
I voted for number 3, first place because I think as a writer he's probably a purist, and they said galley, which is on a ship, and not galleys, which are novels. Furthermore, he was the only one that said that Durban is 400 or 450 miles, perhaps, between Johannesburg and Durban. I think that's correct.
Finally, Tom, your vote.
I hate to correct you, Kitty, but he said galleys.
Yes, he did.
And the one I voted for, number 3, said, you mean a galley?
Yes, right.
So I don't know why I voted for him.
Well, it's 3-1 in favor of 3, 1 for 1, and nothing for number 2. Let's find out now whether we're right or wrong as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the famous novelist. So will the real Nicholas Monserrat please stand up? Thank you, sir. It's a real privilege to have you with us tonight. We have read you, and we trust we will for many years to come. Thank you. Number 1, do you have any postmortem questions?
Well, a slight one. I was put off from number 3 because he pronounced his name slightly different from the other 2 chaps, which is fine now, but I thought it was strange at first.
It was strange at first, but it's not now. Number 1, tell us your real name and what you do, please.
My real name is Lord Malcolm Douglas Hamilton. I'm the former British Member of Parliament.
Thank you, sir. Honored to have you with us, too. And number 2, sir, your real name and what you do.
My name is Robert Wimbush. I import British automobiles, made by the Roots Group, the Hillman, the Humber, and the Sunbeam.
Well, we thank you all. It was fun for us, and I trust it was for you. And checking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 correct votes this time. Only 1 incorrect for $250 from Helene Curtis, and a gift package of those fine beauty products from Helene Curtis for the ladies in your lives. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Well, that's all we have time for tonight, panel, except, Polly, I don't think it'd be fair to send you away without reminding you, as I'm sure you knew, that Jack Hawkins was the star's name you were seeking.
Yes, I knew who it was.
Yes.
He didn't know who it was.
I know.
Why did you tell me like I didn't know?
What is your name, please?
Wait a minute.
I'm afraid we have no more time, so good night, pal.
Good night.
Good night. This is Bud Collier saying good night from our new sponsor, Helene Curtis, and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Chapman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen's wardrobe by Passions of the Four Seasons, Knoxville. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Helene Curtis, makers of fine beauty products, creators of Endon's dandruff treatment shampoo and Schwab hairdressing and conditioner. This is Vern Bennett saying good night from Helene Curtis.